Hey fam, it's Tina from Hangry by Nature here, and we're back with another episode in our series of Japan with Kids. Today we're going to talk about how family friendly is Japan. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel for more family friendly videos like this one and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with our latest videos. In a nutshell, we'll be running through safety, food, getting around, staying connected, attractions for kids, baby amenities, healthcare, pram friendliness, and accessibility to baby goods. Phew! That was a handful. Let's get into it. First up, safety. Japan is probably one of the safest countries we have been to on this entire planet. You can literally leave your smartphone in a public space on a table, come back and retrieve it half an hour later, and it'll still be there. Don't put it to the test, but I'm just saying I've seen it happen to other people and the phone was still there. Look, if this was in Australia, that smartphone of yours would have been gone in 60 seconds. Less than that probably. Unlike the rest of Asia, the Japanese actually adhere to traffic rules. And you'll find crossing the road to be very, very safe. Yes, cars actually brake at pedestrian crossings. You'll find all the locals there to be very respectful and extremely helpful. Even when they don't speak much English, they will try to help you out to the best of their abilities. And if you're lost, in most cases, they will probably even take you to your destination. We obviously didn't have any concerns when it came to safety for our family and kids in Japan. I mean, as always, you just have to use your common sense when you're traveling. Anything could still happen, but on a whole, Japan is extremely safe. Oh my god, Japanese food. There are so many food options in Japan for the whole family. There's delicious local Japanese franchises like Yoshinoya and Matsuya, where they serve rice dishes that are very budget friendly in set menus and also very, very filling. For more on the cost of food in Japan and how much it costs to holiday with kids there, make sure you check out this video above right here. Genki Sushi in Tokyo is a very popular sushi train restaurant where little robots kind of bring the sushi out to you on the conveyor belt. Really cool, must go there. Convenience store bento boxes or bento boxes at train stations are really cost-effective options to feed the whole family in the comfort of your own Airbnb or hotel. All you gotta do is heat it up and they're delicious. There's so much diversity in Japanese cuisine, there's bound to be something that your kids or any fussy eating family member will enjoy. Whether it's sushi, tempura, even pasta, Japanese style, noodle soups, ramen, dumplings. There truly is something for everyone. All the food in Japan is freaking mind-blowing.
Am I ready for this? Holy. Oh my god. What is this? Is this even tuna? This is like ridiculous. I've never had anything like it. Wow. It's like butter.
One thing though to bear in mind is that most local restaurants, especially the good ones, are very small and crowded. Most likely you won't be able to get your pram in there and they won't have high chairs. Most of them don't have high chairs. Although sometimes we just manage to squeeze our pram into some of these places, I probably wouldn't recommend it. So if you're traveling with a baby or toddler, you will most likely have to carry them in your lap while you're eating, or if they can sit in a chair and sit still, then got yourself a good kid there. Getting around in Japan. Getting around in Japan could not possibly get any more convenient. Public transport is super reliable and efficient. Trains come by really frequently, every few minutes or so, and they literally take you anywhere you want to go. And saying that, because the network is so vast and developed, it can get a little confusing. The train networks of major cities are usually run by a whole heap of different companies. So that's where you kind of have to get your head around them. So spend some time trying to get used to the train system and finding out how it works. Google Maps is an effective way of finding out which lines to catch, which trains will take you where. It'll pretty much show you exactly which train to catch, where to go, where to change over, and what time to catch the train basically. And it even knows which train line has any delays or cancellations. Google Maps was pretty much our go-to for our whole entire trip. Buying tickets at train stations is a very simple process. If you do have troubles at the machines, they usually have staff available at the stations where you can ask them how to do it, basically. And of course, the most common question of all, do you need a Japan rail pass? Ding, 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 question of the day. From my opinion, it really depends on your travel schedule. If you are traveling between a lot of cities and taking the Shinkansen bullet train quite often, I would definitely recommend getting a Japan rail pass to save some money on that end of things. But if you are planning just to visit 1-2 cities like Tokyo or Osaka and you're planning to use the train system mainly in those cities, I probably wouldn't recommend getting the rail pass. The problem with the Japan rail pass is that it doesn't include all of the different companies that operate the train networks. I mean, you could use the Japan rail pass to get around locally in a city, but it'll probably take you longer, or you might have to walk longer distances to get to a train station that does support a train company under the Japan rail pass. On our trip to Japan, we only visited 3 cities, which was basically Osaka, Kyoto, and Tokyo, and we didn't see the value in buying a rail pass because we only needed to use a Shinkansen bullet train once from Osaka to Tokyo. So we couldn't really justify the cost of getting one. To take a look at Japan rail pass options, take a look at the link below in the description. On a very important note, I have to say, do not, whatever you do not catch the trains during peak hour unless you fancy getting squeezed in like this in these pictures. Seriously, it's going to traumatize the entire family. If you want to know what it feels like to feel like a sardine in a can, then you can hop on a train at peak hour and discover what it feels like. But of course, sometimes it's inevitable that you'll be caught out at peak hour. Either just wander around and wait until after that period, go grab some dinner or just check out some sights and maybe hop on a train at 6:30, 7 p.m. Otherwise, just try and get back to your hotel or accommodation earlier, just before 5 p.m., 4 p.m., 3 p.m. even. Apart from trains, our favorite method of getting around was by renting a bicycle. Most of the major cities are very bicycle-friendly places. So it's very flat, there's no crazy inclines or anything like that, so it's very pleasant to ride around and you get to see a whole heap more. And most bicycle rental places also offer bicycles that come with fitted child seats. We found this to be the best way to get around because you could stop wherever you want, come across hidden gems that you otherwise wouldn't have come across. Highly recommended. Taxis in Japan are also an option, but can be very pricey. For example, a taxi ride from Narita Airport to Tokyo Central will set you back around $200.
Hello, Andy. Do you copy?
Yeah, I'm here. Where are you?
What are your coordinates?
Tina, are you there?
Huh?
Staying connected. A lot of apartments and Airbnbs provide you with these little devices called pocket Wi-Fi's. Basically, a number of people can connect to it and everyone can access the net. You just carry it around with you when you're on the go. Do check with your Airbnb host if your accommodation actually provides one or not. We do highly recommend, even if your accommodation doesn't come with a pocket Wi-Fi, to go get yourself one because it allows pretty much the whole family to connect onto the one device without having to get multiple SIM cards. If you do want to get yourself a pocket Wi-Fi, take a look at the link in the description below. Most of the time you can pre-order through websites and pick up at the airport or train station even that you're arriving into in Japan. If you don't want to get yourself a pocket Wi-Fi, a lot of places actually offer free Wi-Fi. So a lot of eateries, cafes, some shopping centers, and even most train stations offer free Wi-Fi. Alternatively, electronic stores like Big Camera and Yodobashi, which you can find pretty much in every major city, have prepaid SIM plan options for instant pickup within Japan. And to get them into your hands as quickly as possible, it's best to order them before you leave for Japan. Do note that the SIM only starts to work upon activation. Attractions for kids. Japan has a ton of kids attractions and things to enjoy for the whole family. Japan would probably have to be one of the most family and kid-friendly places we have ever been to. Nothing about Japan is boring. Nothing. Kids will be entertained by robot restaurants, colourful buildings plastered with anime characters, cute cartoon characters, monster cafes, weird animal cafes, cute animal cafes, cosplay characters, lights, theme parks, samurais, animals, history, parks, temples, museums, and the list goes on. Entry prices are pretty reasonable for most places. Museum entry costs around $15 to $16 depending on the museum that you visit, and temples can be very cheap to visit, with entry only costing around $3 to $6. The most expensive attraction we visited was Disneyland, but who can put a price on that kind of fun, right? For an inside look at Tokyo Disneyland and whether it's worth visiting with babies or young kids, make sure you take a look at our video up here. The absolute highlights for our kids in Japan were obviously Disneyland, Kawaii Monster Cafe in Harajuku, Tokyo, Rockstar Reptile Cafe in Osaka, out of this world, Kyoto Railway Museum, Osaka Aquarium, Kids Plaza in Osaka, which is like the most epic play center you'll pretty much ever come across anywhere. For an inside look at this epic play center, check out the link above here. Baby and kids amenities in Japan. Welcome to the future. Going for a bathroom run in Japan is always a pleasure and heaps of fun, with a lot of buttons to press. We call them robot or spaceship bathrooms because that's basically what it looks like when you're inside a toilet in Japan. There's so many different gadgets, devices, and fun buttons to press. There's even a button on the toilet called the flushing sound. For those who are a little self-conscious when doing their number twos, I guess, you can drown out the sound with the flushing sound. Who thought of that? Genius! Everything is super well thought out. The only problem we encountered was not knowing what all those buttons did. You just have to test them out yourself. Do check out our video, 12 surprising things to know before visiting Japan, to see the one thing that we could not figure out about Japanese toilets and other surprising things about Japan. Most bathrooms, and both male and female bathrooms, have baby change tables, and in most cases even a baby or child holding seat within the toilet cubicle, which makes it super convenient when you don't want to just plop your kid on the ground while you're doing your business. It's just that your child might, undergo severe trauma when if you need to do a number two. Just saying. All shopping centers have family rooms or baby change rooms. These baby facilities have everything from hot and cold fresh drinkable water, change tables, sinks, and other devices and contraptions we didn't even really know what they were. But maybe you can figure it out when you're there.
The super cool thing is at every shopping center you get one of these. So you don't even need to bring a pram with you to a shopping center. You can just grab one of these and it reclines and you can adjust the size. And I'll show you the recline of that. Your baby can sleep in it. Good night, Raph.
Good night.
Good night. It's super, super handy. We need to have these everywhere. I need to relieve the pressure, doctor. Hand me the scalpel, please.
Scalpel.
I don't really know what I'm doing.
Healthcare. Now, fingers crossed, you won't need to visit a doctor or hospital during your stay in Japan, but if you do, we do believe that it's best to be prepared. There are lots of different practices to consider and different fee coverages to think about. But do bear in mind though, visiting a doctor in Japan can get very expensive if you don't have travel insurance that you can claim it back on. First off, it would be to familiarize yourself with a website that shows you where the English-speaking doctors and hospitals are. Even have a list picked out and just note it down somewhere so you just have it in case. For example, a good one to have in Tokyo is the American Clinic in Tokyo, and there's also St. Luke's International Hospital, where most of the staff will be able to speak fluent English. We found Google Maps to be a little bit challenging to find reviews, as most of the reviews were written by local Japanese people, so you don't really know whether they can speak English or not, or whether the reviews are good or not. And obviously, most importantly, make sure you have travel insurance. We recommend and use World Nomads. Check the link in the description below. They have pretty much the best prices when it comes to travel insurance. If you're not covered by the Japanese national health insurance, which most foreigners are not, you will need to pay an upfront fee, which can be quite costly, and then potentially get it reimbursed by your travel insurance company. Pram friendliness. The majority of Japan is very pram friendly. There are lots of lifts and escalators that'll get you from one level to the next, so you won't have to worry about lugging prams upstairs. And obviously the infrastructure and the roads are very smooth and clean, super easy to roll a pram around on. The only places that we encountered that weren't pram friendly where we would recommend bringing a carrier is temples. The temples are usually nestled in the mountains, or well, mainly in the mountains really, and you're gonna have to ascend a lot of stairs. There's no lifts there. Or you're gonna have to do some steep inclines, which I wouldn't recommend doing with a pram. So make sure you bring your carrier. On the odd occasion, we did have to lift prams upstairs at older train stations where they didn't have lifts, but it's good exercise, I guess. Go get some fitness in between somewhere. But overall, super pram friendly country.
Alright, it's time for a nappy change, buddy. Whoa! Damn, son! What did you eat?
Accessibility to baby goods. Now, if there's one thing you don't have to worry about in Japan, actually you probably don't have to worry about anything in Japan, they've got everything, but that is baby goods. They literally have everything. Supermarkets, convenience stores, even electronic department stores sell baby goods, baby essentials. Japan will have you covered with an abundant choice of baby food, snacks, wipes, diapers, bottles, and cute and handy accessories that you probably don't need, but they're just so cute you buy anyway. That's Japan. Japanese diapers are of a very good quality. We pretty much recommend every single brand, and we've tried them all. Really good quality. You literally won't have to bring anything from back at home for your baby or toddler. Save yourself the space in the suitcase for other goodies. And that's it, guys. I think we've just about covered every single aspect of how family friendly Japan is. And the verdict, it's hella family friendly. If you liked this video and found it helpful, the best way to support our channel is by giving this video a big fat like and subscribing to our channel, hitting that notification bell to keep up to date with all of our latest videos. Before we leave, I would love to know what the best country you have ever visited was. Was it Japan? Because Japan seems to be on that list for a lot of people. I'd love to know. For us, well, for me personally, Japan's definitely up there. Actually, you know what? It probably tops it. But let us know in the comments below. Until then, we'll see you in the next video. Laters. I missed. Let's try the next one. I missed again.
Angry, hungry, yes I'm hangry.